there because it's been that kind of a life.
All right.
Oh, we got music?
All right, we're live. So this is our July Thirsty Thursday. Welcome to Vivi and Eric from Shaken Not Scared podcast.
Hey guys.
So let's start there because we want to talk to you guys about the podcast. So like what do you do with your podcast?
A little bit of a similar premise to you guys. We talk all things horror movies. Probably our biggest difference is we make cocktails to go with them. So a theme cocktail with each movie.
Or beer. Or shots.
Beer. Whatever we're feeling that day.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Which we love because that gives us ideas. We're like, okay, when we do that, we're making that.
The second I saw you, I was like, this is our sister podcast.
Make our shopping
I'm good with
list.
that.
So how did you guys come up with the idea?
So we had like a giant watch list of horror movies that we were always adding on to and never getting down any kind of way. So we always talked about doing a podcast and talking about stuff that we liked, and we just have these conversations that feel like a podcast sometimes just amongst ourselves. So we thought, well, why not put it out there for everyone else to hear? Also, with the pandemic, I'm sure everyone picked up drinking as a hobby. So we found ourselves doing that a lot. And so we kind of mixed the two things. And yeah, one day we were just trying to come up with puns and came upon Shaken Not Scared.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. It's so fun. All right. So where can people find your podcast on social media, or what platforms are you streaming on? Where can they find you?
So we're pretty much on all social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We're pretty much Shaken Not Scared Pod on everything except Twitter is Shaken Scared Pod because they have a weird character limit. And then we're on Spotify, Apple Pod, pretty much anything you can find us.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So now we're going to get into each of your individual horror stories. So we're ladies first. So we're going to start with Vivi. One, we always start with this with every guest. So what's your favorite scary movie?
And probably like every guest, I'm going to say I can't pick a favorite. But I think Suspiria is probably one of my favorites. It's a beautiful movie. I love it focused on women and women's relationships. And just kind of like as a subgenre that I've been getting into, it's fairly new, I think, is like the good for her genre. So like Carrie, The Witch, like all those I've like been loving lately.
We love those as well. And we love to find old movies that fit that. We're like, that's a definitely good for her movie.
Yes. Those are the best.
Right. What's your horror origin story? What got you into the genre?
So I wish I had a cool story. I think just like when I was a kid, I was like afraid of all these things. And then one day I decided, you know what, I'm going to take power over the things that scare me, and then just like watched everything, got into all of them. I think even, I don't know if you guys had a similar experience. When I was in undergrad, I had to write a thesis and I did it on like female horror. So I like really got into it.
That's great.
Love that.
All right. Eric, what's your favorite scary movie?
So also broken between different kinds. Recently, actually, thanks to her, I watched Trick or Treat, and I think I really like anthologies in general. Might be because I have a hard time paying attention to things. So I think anthologies are like a good solution to that because it's just a bunch of little stories that come to an end and gives you everything all at once. So it's anthologies. I think Trick or Treat was really good. After seeing it the first time, I was in love with it. There was a couple of other things on Hulu and Shudder. I don't know if you guys saw that were similar this past year that came out, and I still think Trick or Treat's probably the better one.
Creepshow.
Creepshow's fun too.
Creepshow's a classic.
Yeah.
But then before that, zombie movies I think are the best too. In high school, I was probably really annoying and always talked about zombies and dreamt about zombies and sacrificing my family to save my family because one person was running too slow, so I had to let them go. Otherwise, the rest of us are going to die.
That is definitely a zombie movie.
Yeah.
thing.
So
Right. You got to make a choice,
Yeah. So those are the ones.
Love it, love it. All right, so and what is your horror origin story? What got you into the genre?
I was the kid brother to two people who were 9 and 12 years older than me. So they used to watch all the classics in the 80s and 90s, and I was just always there, getting spooked and hiding and having nightmares about it. So I think that was like the first exposure to it. And then Halloween was always my favorite holiday. I was super scared. I was a huge scaredy cat growing up. I was one of those like turn off lights and run across the room to get to my bed people. So, but then I started to embrace it, and it just became like a fun thing for me to enjoy. Yeah.
Sure.
Nice. Love it. All right. So we got some time. So we're going to do some of our favorite thing in the world, trivia.
Oh, no. We actually mentioned before we hopped on how bad we are at trivia. So
we are too. Don't worry about it.
It's embarrassing how bad I am.
All right. I'm going to say this one's pretty easy. So we'll see.
Oh, no.
What is the main town in which it is set?
Dreary. Is it Dreary, Maine?
Derry.
Derry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Derry, Maine. There we go. The first one, we got it right.
Kind of right. Because I'm listening to the audiobook. And that's one of the things that gets said a lot. That's not offensive. So I'm holding on to that.
Yeah. Okay. What was not an ingredient used in The Thing for creature effects? Microwavable bubble gum, creamed corn, toothpaste, or mayonnaise? I feel like I've heard a story about microwave bubble gum, so I don't think that's the right answer.
I want to say mayonnaise because it's not in the Midwest.
I want to say toothpaste, but I like your guess.
I feel like creamed corn has to be all of these are probably in there in some way, shape, or form. I just watched this movie. I can see all of them being in there. I'm going to go mayonnaise, though.
All right, we got 2 mayonnaise and 1 toothpaste. So let's see what it is. Toothpaste is the correct answer.
Oh!
Hey, at least it was clean.
Right?
Keep it pearly white.
Psycho from 1960 was an adaptation of the novel of the same name by what author?
Crap.
Oh, I feel like I know this, but I don't know. But I feel like I should.
If anyone
I'm
watching
just thinking director.
Right?
Yeah.
If anyone out there watching, let us know in the comments.
Participation is cool. Like
I wouldn't have known this. I'll give it a few seconds to see if anyone in the audience knows. So again, for those in the audience who are just now listening, Psycho was an adaptation of the novel of the same name by what author? I've never heard of this person before.
I probably have.
Character names, let alone authors.
It was Norman Bates. It was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. But that's all I got.
Yes, and Janet Leigh was there.
Right.
Oh, Doc J.
Yep, Doc J is correct. Robert Bloch.
Woo!
Ooh, nice. Good job.
Okay, in The Conjuring, what is the name of the entity tormenting the Perron family?
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba, yeah.
Love that movie.
That's right.
I want to say Moloch, but isn't that the nun?
I think that is the
I think it is.
Moloch.
Moloch, sorry.
Something
You do rule, Doc J.
I rule. You do.
I've never even heard of Robert Bloch, and I work at a bookstore for like 6 years.
Oh, no.
I feel like at some point I knew that name, and I knew that name was associated with Psycho, and that knowledge has left me.
Yes.
It's okay. You can only remember what, like 75 names at once,
I
they
think
say?
so.
Oh, so yeah, no, he's long.
Yeah.
All right. In the Nightmare on Elm Street series, Amanda Kruger is what school teacher? School teacher, nurse, nun, or police officer? Amanda Kruger.
Ooh, I don't know if I got this far in the series.
Man, I wish I could see the 4 options at once.
School teacher, nurse, nun, or police officer?
I'm going to say school teacher.
Nurse.
Because it gives them access to children.
Nurse gives them access to
I'm
children.
99.9% sure it's a nun. Yep, she's a nun.
Ah, damn.
Because her,
So
this his whole backstory is that she was raped by like 100 men in an insane asylum, and that's what made her afraid. We find that out in 3, I think, right?
Yeah, and I was mad about it, which is why I remembered. I was like, "This is what you did. This is what you did."
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Always got to use that as a narrative.
Origin. Yeah.
Listen,
Kind of.
I mean, history does suck though. So.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
it's a little bit of history and it's a little bit of his story.
Yeah.
That's a whole other way.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. This is foreign films are always Sharai and I's toughest one. So we'll see if we can get this.
Okay.
In The Wailing from 2016, villagers attribute the supernatural affliction to a stranger from what Asian country? China?
They don't give us options.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the options.
Oh.
Just
I'm just gonna say China because that's
the Wailing.
Yeah.
Not
I would
that
guess
sure.
China as well.
The Wailing. Japan.
Japan.
Korea. I don't know.
Your guess is as good as anyone.
Japan or Korea? I don't know.
Maybe someone in
One
the
of those.
audience will know this. I've never seen The Wailing. It sounds like
I
Neither
don't think
have I.
I've seen it either.
it's an interesting title.
We wanted to watch more foreign films, but
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh, I have like a list of them that I'm working my way through, and yeah, it's been cool. I have not gotten to this one yet, though. Yeah.
We'll make sure this one's on the list.
Listen,
Any other guesses?
I'm gonna say Korea.
Korea, okay. Japan was the correct
Yes.
answer.
I knew it. That's my first guess before Korea.
All right. Oh, wait, I think we did that one.
On the topic of Japan, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. It's Sailor Moon.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, same. Huge anime fans too.
Yes. All right, let's see. We did that one. Why am I getting messed up here?
Oh,
This is what happens when you play trivia when you're drinking.
Oh, right, drinking.
Right.
You reminded me.
cheers.
Okay,
Cheers.
in The Wolfman from 1941, the protagonist, Lawrence Talbot, buys a cane decorated with the silver bust of what animal?
A wolf?
That's right.
That seems right.
I think it's a werewolf movie. Yeah, it's a wolf.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Well, yeah, wolf's bad.
Because I think there's a remake of that I think I've watched. I don't remember. Anyway,
Yeah, it was a few years ago. Maybe more than a few years ago.
maybe it was like an
Years
early
ago, it's
on.
no longer the early 2010s.
Right. Have to remember that.
Oh, here we go. This is your favorite movie, so we'll see. What Superman Returns co-writer directed Trick or Treat?
Oh, crap.
Superman Returns, huh? I've seen that movie. It's so long. Trick or Treat. Yeah, man. Directors are not my thing either.
Oh, you're really bad with
I'm doing
names.
better now that we have a show. But still not.
I would not have guessed this. Y'all ready for it?
Sure.
Michael Dougherty.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Didn't he do a lot of superhero stuff? I think that's why I've seen his name before.
A lot of superhero directors have done like anthologies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like horror.
Or horror in general. Yeah, Sam Raimi.
Oh yeah, Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
He's also done a couple. Yeah, Taika Waititi.
What We Do in the Shadows. That's another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Love that.
Comedy horrors were great too.
Yeah.
What actor played Patrick Bateman in American Psycho?
What's his name?
Christian Bale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that got away from me. Like, I'm not doing well tonight.
That took us way too long,
It did.
actually.
I didn't even think
He
it
was
yours.
Batman. We just talked about superheroes. And I was like,
You said
no.
Batman? Yes.
I always just think of the mirror scene when I think of that movie. Not anything else.
I'd
Just
say I got
that.
it
I
right.
think of so many scenes from American Psycho.
Yeah.
Fail. Yes.
Oh, Sharai, that's going to bring back memories for you. Not so recent memories. At
Oh,
the
my
end
goodness.
of Night of the Living Dead, the deputy mistakes what character for one of the undead and shoots him?
I know this.
I hate that ending so
I
much.
hate it.
His name was Ben, and I had thoughts
Yeah.
about that ending. Oh,
His name was Ben. Yeah, was it mistaken?
one of the things I hate about the commentary the director says, he's like, I didn't mean it to be a racial statement. I'm like, it really is though.
Yeah, I think we also had a fun fact when we covered that movie that the actor was happy with the ending because he said that like it was more impactful than the other way around, and so he thought it was better that way than not, and obviously for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate that ending so much. Yeah. I hate every other character in that movie too. Everyone's so annoying.
Listen, we just covered it. I hate everybody but Ben.
Exactly.
No. Yeah. And I have left so many conversations where people are like, "No, they didn't know he was a person. I thought he was a zombie." I just leave those conversations because clearly nothing to talk about.
They were just trigger happy. That's what you expect.
Right.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
What was the name of the novella that Hellraiser was based on?
Shit.
Oh, man, and I was just like reading about how it was like inspired by the BDSM community and stuff. Oh,
Don't know. Impact on
Not
intent.
intent.
Asshole choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hellbound Heart. The author Clive Barker also directed the film.
Somewhere I knew it was Hellbound. I didn't know about the rest of it because like one of the later Hellraisers is Hellbound something or something. Hellbound.
Oh yeah.
In The Descent, who had an affair with the husband of Sarah Carter? Beth O'Brien, Sam Burnett, Juno Kaplan, or Rebecca Burnett?
Vivi's raised Juno.
The Descent's version of Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
Favorite international
horror movie.
Oh, this is so hard. Train to Busan was great.
Yeah, that's
yes.
gotta be up there.
So damn good.
You know which one was really good too, and I feel like doesn't really get talked about a lot. #Alive, as much as it's probably very cheesy in some ways, I think it was a pretty good modern way to look at zombie movies.
Yeah.
You get drones and some, Wi-Fi.
Social media.
And we watched it during quarantine too, so it was like he was doing a lot of what we were doing.
Yeah.
I will also shout out to May the Devil Take You, which is on Netflix. Also a wild ride.
Listen.
Oh, we gotta check it out.
I'm still parked at Tigers Are Not Afraid. I feel like Issa Lopez is the queen, and
we will talk about that movie.
We don't talk about her enough. I would do another episode anytime, any place on Tigers Are Not Afraid.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. His house was pretty intense too.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
I had to look up things because I was like, I don't understand why this happened, and I read it, and I still don't understand why things happened.
Oh, also anything with Del Toro, of course.
I was gonna say, gotta love Del Toro.
The Orphanage.
The Orphanage.
Yeah. Still got a soft spot for Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
It's like a
Labyrinth, yes.
comfort.
We were just talking in Mexico. I think it's Guadalajara. If you guys ever go down there for any reason, there's a museum. That's a Guillermo del Toro museum, which is pretty cool. Even it looks even crazy on the outside if you look up pictures.
Now I have to go just for that.
Yeah, I'd go just for that.
Right. Your street road trip.
Yeah.
Oh, for real. Yeah,
love it. Let's do one more, and then we'll get into what we've been watching. So, in The Sixth Sense, what is the profession of the protagonist played by Bruce Willis?
Is he a therapist, psychologist, something of that nature?
Yeah.
A child therapist?
Child psychologist.
Specifically?
Child psychologist.
Yeah.
Yes,
wrong.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the horror we've been watching over this month. I made Vivi go first last time, so let's make Eric go first this time.
Okay. Yeah. So I had not seen a lot of the movies that you guys asked for recipes for, so that was really good. We can talk more about them when we get to the drinks, but other than that, I've been taking my time on Handmaid's Tale. So messed up. As a man, I feel like crap watching it because, I feel at fault for this existing.
Yeah.
But as far as the, what do you call dystopian future horrors? Yeah, I think it's pretty
I love
insane.
dystopian.
We also recently covered The Ring from Japan, 1998, and we did Blair Witch Project, which is also a classic. Growing up, but that movie, I used to be scared of going to the woods, and now we live near the woods. So
so you didn't learn your lesson.
I didn't learn my lesson. Yeah, and then also not something we're watching, but we did both start reading Tender is the Flesh. Not sure if you guys are familiar, but it's by Agustina Basterrica, and it's also a dystopian future novel that kind of touches on a lot of messed up topics. It's in a future where the animals are no longer edible, and so the human race resorts to eating humans and using humans as livestock to survive. And so there are the people who are food, and then there's the people who are people, obviously, and the people are treated like they're cows. Yeah,
It's a wild read.
I'm gonna find that tonight.
You said there might be a movie, right?
There's talks about turning it into a show or movie, which I don't know how they'll get away with that imagery, but
If you guys do end up reading it, I finished it. She hasn't yet, but the ending is. I hate everybody. Everyone. Not a single person except for one. And without giving the ending away, you'd know why. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's all I got for a while.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add? I'm sure you kind of overlap a lot, but
yeah, kind of like we said, it felt like we had homework because we had to watch all these movies, but it was really great homework because they're movies we wanted to watch. I think the only one we had watched on our own so far was A Girl Walks Alone at Night.
Oh my God, I love that
which is really great.
Yeah.
Tigers Are Not Afraid, I think changed me as a person. And then The Devil's Backbone was pretty good. Interesting to find out it was kind of like a companion piece to Pan's Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we and we can talk about this in a sec if you guys want. We powered through Fear Street on Netflix because everyone was talking about it. And I was like, we got to watch it before we see spoilers.
Yeah, that's one of mine too. Yeah, I watched Fear Street. I just finished it last night. So
yeah, we finished it like 2 nights ago.
Yeah. Also speeding up for this. Yeah, we definitely procrastinated, but thank you because we usually take forever to watch things, so it helped us kind of.
It's hard out here with a 40-hour-a-week job and a podcast.
No,
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm there with you. Sharai, what you been watching?
I have been catching up on Chucky because I never finished the franchise, as I talk about a lot. And I'm down to just the Cult of Chucky, which I'm doing Sunday on Clubhouse for people who want to be up at 9 a.m. and have access to sci-fi. And that's been fun. I also have been doing Slasher because season 4 is about to start, and I never watched it all. So I just made it. I'm like towards the end of season 2. It's a ride. It's a ride.
Yeah. Ooh, I love the first 2 seasons. The third season we'll talk about.
I'm excited to get to season 3 because then I feel like I've really accomplished something. Because right now I'm in season 2. Okay, I got it. I started. But I'm also diving into Fantasia Fest because I'm starting to get those screeners and stuff. And so it's been wild over here. The cat is confused. The cat is like, does anybody not die anymore?
Is anyone not dying in this house, please?
Can we have one day?
Okay. I just want to watch a cartoon, Auntie. And I'm like, no, Louise, no.
Yeah, that's why Loki cries all day. It's just because we
all the trauma we put him through.
I love that your dog is named Loki. It makes me happy when I hear it on the podcast.
Yeah,
he lives up to the name.
He's definitely the dog of mischief.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have been, number one, I was amazed because one of my classes at work wanted to watch The Walking Dead. And I was like, okay. So we started trekking our way through The Walking Dead. I think we're at season 4 now. I don't know.
So it's still good.
It's right. Yeah, I stopped watching at like 5 or 6. I can't remember when. But
same.
Yeah. But I'm
a while ago I stopped.
If they want to continue watching, I will see how terrible it gets. And Sharai kind of alluded to this earlier. I started the It audiobook because I hadn't read the book ever. And we may or may not be covering that at some point for our Patreons. Hint, wink, wink.
Yeah.
And I'm now to part 2. Yeah. And it is a thing. It's very Stephen King. I have to be like, Stephen King. Thank you for the hate crime, Stephen King. It was really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Hey, to be fair though, the books are always so much better Sure, maybe some details could be a little different, but
Yeah, pretty rough. I read it about a year ago, the audiobook as well, and I was just like, oh my gosh, why does he keep saying these things? Like,
that was me today.
We get it.
I'm doing the audiobook this time because as a kid I read it, but I was too young to understand all of why this was wrong and all of what happens in that sewer. So I was like, let me listen to it. And Steven Weber, bless his heart, is reading the 46 hours of Stephen King just dropping the N-word and other slurs. And I was like, we could shave off so many hours if we just took that word away from him.
Right.
And I will say, no, he's Stephen King. Let him have it.
Right. And I will say, the performer is doing really well. What'd you say his name was?
Steven Weber from Wings. So I watch on TV, as we know. And Steven Weber was on a show called Wings with Tim Daly, and both of them went on to do Stephen King miniseries and read audiobooks. And so they're sitting there saying these awful things. And it's very jarring because it's like, oh my God, you were also part of my childhood, but you were the happy part, and now you're here. And this is uncomfortable for all of us.
I've always wondered that with the audiobooks because, when they say certain slurs and things like that, I'm like, I wonder if they have any cringe, like if they cringe while they record it. Obviously, they're actors and they have to, but I mean, it'd be also a shame to omit it because it's the original thing, but yeah, it kind of sucks, right? You have to do that.
You kind of have to just let that author hang out there because he did it. He wrote it.
True. Yeah.
No one made him write it. And however we feel about that, we should feel it.
Yeah.
Going back to real quick, sorry to interrupt, but the Chucky, I know you said you were watching them. What did you think of that new one, the robot Chucky?
Oh, the remake.
Yeah.
We did that for Halloween and choices. You could tell the original creator was not involved. It was very funny for the wrong reasons. I love Aubrey Plaza and some of the people who turned up for that, but I wish that we could have not been there for that.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been so much better if the original creator had been involved, of course. I think that the concept of making him like an AI robot thing was an interesting thing because it gave him more powers than just like, I'm a doll and I'm going to run around and kill people. It was like, no, I'm going to turn your heat up to 3 billion degrees.
I'm going to fuck with you, Roku, because I'm Chucky.
First of all, the furnace doesn't even go that hot.
Right. That dishwasher's on now. It's like,
oh, thanks. I've been meaning to start the dishwasher.
Yeah, those dishes have been in there for a week.
but yeah, the originals are classics, and especially my favorites are when you get to like the Bride of Chucky and the Seed of Chucky when they get super queer and super camp, and I just love them.
I did not think I was going to enjoy Seed of Chucky, and I cackled so hard I almost died on the couch.
Ridiculous. It is so fun though. All right, we've got some time, so let's talk about how did we all feel about Fear Street?
Oh, I have strong opinions.
She does. Probably more than I do.
Okay, so, well, I guess spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it up to this point, we're going to talk about it. Yeah. But starting with 1994, I was not a big fan of the main character because I felt like she was a little emotionally abusive to her girlfriend.
Everybody.
She was very angry, and sure, you live in a super shitty town, but she also then sacrificed all her really good friends for this girlfriend, which, sure, you're in love, but also it's your high school girlfriend. Okay, listen, that was that one.
More power to you. We were high school.
Okay, we didn't get together until like college, though.
That's different.
And I still have my friends.
You didn't sacrifice your friends to a meat cleaver.
Yeah, I didn't sacrifice friends. Exactly. Oh my God, that kill was not expected, though.
No,
it was. Yeah,
it was fun.
It was like
I thought they were going to keep her alive because of the brother. So I was definitely surprised. Yeah.
I loved 78? 78.
Right,
yeah. Just for the nostalgic, like all the camp horror slasher.
Yeah. That one was my favorite too. Of the three, that one was my favorite.
Yeah.
And then just the last one, the thing that bothered me is that Sarah had decided that she was going to become the villain that they all thought she was, but then didn't and died like a martyr. I was like, no, I want like the witch ending. Does thou want to live deliciously ending? And yeah, screw all of you. No, I didn't get that. But I enjoyed them overall.
Yeah, I definitely called Good being the main bad guy. Literally in the first like 20 minutes of 94, one of the characters says that the only thing he's got is evil with the last name Good, which was definitely just,
Yeah, did not.
Dahlia never told no lies.
High school sweethearts are special though.
not when they're dead.
Right?
Yeah. I was just going to add real quick that, like, yeah, I totally agree that the main, like, because she's kind of the main character in all three of them, essentially, with the storyline that goes through. And I didn't care for her. I liked all the secondary characters. I liked her little brother a lot more than I liked her. I even liked the girlfriend that when she was possessed more than I liked her. Like,
no, she was moaned.
Right, and I love when they incorporated Ziggy from the sequel into the main storyline. I thought she was really cool.
I loved her character.
Yeah, she was great, and because she was the heroine that I wanted throughout all three of them, and we never really got that from Sarah Fier and from. I can't think of what the first girl's name was.
We can't even remember her name.
Irrelevant.
But, I also always love when the root of all evil is straight white cis men.
It usually is.
It's obvious by now.
Realism.
Yeah, I think I liked the three. I think I like 66 more though overall because I definitely like The Witch. Like anything that takes place in old time America or colonies or times where people were just shitty.
That's how they were.
Sorry, are we allowed to curse? I don't know.
Oh yeah. If I'm here, we're gonna have to. Like.
Yeah, but those people, we actually got married in Salem, and so we were watching
Which we say all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, and watching it just, it resonated with a ton of the story down there.
Oh,
up there, I guess. Yeah.
Very related to the history of Salem, crucibles, like that mob mentality.
The whole time, though, the whole time we just kept talking about how that wouldn't have happened, because they were so, what's the word? So prudish back then.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did like in the third one when they cast the actors from the first two in those like side character roles, but each character kind of fit into what they did in the other stories. I like that, but I felt like the third movie was just disjointed. It was two movies in one, and it felt weird. Anyway, Sharai, you love the book series, so I want to hear what you have to say.
So again, I grew up on these books. I loved these books, and so I made peace with the fact that this would not be my Fear Street when I went into it, and it was not. It's definitely for younger folks who don't care about the history of Fear Street and all that jazz. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I got really, really happy in the first one because you have all this 90s music, and I'm a 90s child. And like, not everybody's aggressively white and straight. And I'm like, I love this. This is what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, but haha, let's go to 78. Everybody's white again and everybody's straight again. Yeah. And I was like, did you really just do this?
Yeah.
So I said the same thing in 94. Later scenes, there are minorities on the Sunnyvale side, but it was definitely very prominently minorities on the shady side the entire film until a couple of characters from Sunnyvale were revealed.
I also didn't love the character where he was always in jail, and then they just roll up and they're like, "You want to kill a cop?" I'm like, I don't feel like that's okay.
It was not. And then this third one happened, and the third one for me is definitely the weakest link, like from accents to everything else. But because of the way they went about integrating the kids from 94 into this, we did have another woman on Netflix who's Black with a noose around her neck. And I don't need that from Netflix anymore. We can stop doing that for any reasons. Love that.
Oh yeah, we were thinking the same thing.
They blew their entire budget on those song rights for every decade.
Yeah. Netflix has the money.
Netflix has the money, but we thought the same thing.
And then we thought, all right, when 66, how do you recognize those like bomb ass tracks? That,
from 1666.
Yeah, I was not happy. And I'm happy I get to say that out loud because you can't say that on Twitter.
Yeah, people do love that. I think they've had a positive reaction for the most part. Some things about them are cool. Some things about them I could do without.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people liking things, and so they fall into that trap. And so when you try and bring up a couple issues, they're just like, no, it's spotless. It's amazing. Like, it's not. You like the soundtrack. That's different from what you actually saw.
Or you like this one character or this one gag or, you know. And so, there are redeemable things about it. It's just as a whole, it's in the meh world for me as a series. But I did like parts of it, you know.
Yeah, I want movies on all the side characters. I don't really care so much about the main character.
Yeah.
So the books, I've never read the book. I actually didn't even know that they were books until the movies came out. And I guess you haven't read them. Are there more coming? I know that they talked about making this like an MCU of horror on Netflix. So
they've talked about it. This trilogy that we have is not from the books. Like they lifted the name Sarah Fear and they lifted both towns. And then they just did some other stuff and said it was Fear Street, which I also have questions about because I get wanting to make something your own, but also if you're gonna do your own thing, why are you like being like, well, this is this thing you grew up with? Don't do that. That's that's a cheap trick.
Yeah, just like, do a teen. Why can't you just do a teen slasher and call it teen slasher? I don't know, like
especially because part of
I don't know.
Especially because part of why I loved Fear Street growing up is because it was a slasher. So it was the new kid. It was the kid you have a crush on. It was your best friend. Sometimes it was a possessed cheerleader. And so like we removed all of that. I was like, let's make it more mystical. But like also let's make it confusing. And nobody will ask questions. And I'm like, I have questions. And they're like, we're done now. We're done.
Yeah. To be fair, I think the moment that I found out that R.L. Stine was the creator of the books, I thought the stakes were dropped significantly too, because
Goosebumps.
Yeah, and the books are more for teenagers than like adults. Like I feel like Goosebumps are for kids. Fear Street was getting into like teenage or late early young adult, and then
gateway, yeah.
We could call the next one Life for adults.
Like I like to watch. Trixie Mattel had only read Goosebumps from R.L. Stine, and so went into this being like, it's going to be a cute little bop for kids, and we're like, oh god, and just screaming because we were getting like meat slicers and things, and it's magnificent. We have 22 minutes. Magnificent.
Gotta watch that.
Fun.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about what each of us are drinking. So what are you guys drinking on over there?
So I just did a red wine. I have the bottle over here somewhere.
It's probably our favorite.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite affordable red wine. It's called Carnivore.
Yes.
Thought it was appropriate.
There you go.
I have a local / not so local beer. It's called Maximus. By Lagunitas Brewing. I don't know if that looks good there. It's got a dog on it. Yeah, it's actually pretty strong. 9% ABV.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Got a nice little color.
Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty. It's a pretty one.
I would take that.
That's like the cover of the cookbook right there. Sharai, what you drinking?
I am drinking a vodka with a blood red ginger beer because I was like, we're gonna be meeting up with guests who like know their cocktails. I want to look pretty, and it's pinker than I want it. I was like, it's blood orange. It's gonna be a color, and it's like, no, it's perfume. But it tastes amazing.
It sounds delicious.
The stakes were high. She thought we were gonna make cocktails, and we brought made stuff.
Well, we made all the cocktails for the later segment.
And they are gorgeous. Like.
And yeah, I'm just doing my basic usual vodka lemonade. It's a raspberry lemonade with a pomegranate vodka, and it tastes delicious.
Ooh.
I sometimes call it a pink lady.
Like Grease?
He's just a virgin, you know.
Awesome.
All right, so we asked you guys to think of drink pairs with certain films, and I'm gonna let Sharai take it over because she has the PowerPoint red set to get. And yeah, I'm excited because I have not looked at this all day, so I'm excited.
Oh,
you're in
pressure's
for a
on
surprise.
again.
This is gorgeous. So we're gonna open this window, and it's gonna do what I asked. Yay! Clearly, these are a few of my favorite things: movie drinks by Derek and Vivi.
Or modified.
All right. So, like we mentioned, we got homework. So, they provided us with an awesome list of movies that we haven't seen a lot of. And the first one was Tragedy Girls.
We're educational, Marissa.
Please take notes. There will be a test later.
Behold, slide A.
So I watched The Tragedy Girls. Awesome movie. Awesome feel-good movie. It's not like because a lot of these get darker and darker as we go on, but this was kind of just a fun, campy horror. If you've seen the movie, you know the girls wear like a neon green and neon pink mask. So that's what we did. We are calling these the tragedy shots. So one is melon liqueur, triple sec, and lime, and the other is red velvet, Irish cream, and creme de cacao. So I thought we'd get like a sweet and sour because they kind of have those personality traits in them. And yeah, there's that one.
Of each. At least one of each. We might come back to it later.
We'll see what happens.
Two of each. Thursday's moving to Sunday brunch. It's gonna be fun. That's great.
Hey, well, we were making these all last night, and I drank all of them. So
and he's still standing.
You have to prepare. You're a great guest. Like,
I have to do the taste test, you know.
Exactly.
you have to.
Perfect.
You can't recommend something that's gross. Like,
You can. All right. So The Devil's Backbone.
We both watched this one.
We both
took
watched
turns.
this one. Yeah. So one person watched and some we watched together just because time's sake. But this movie, guys, I think I listened to your episode on it, and so we made the baby juice. The baby juice that they drink is what we made, just because it was the obvious choice.
grab a baby juice.
Gerber baby juice.
We didn't have a baby, so we put a bat in the picture.
Yeah. Thankfully, we don't have babies just floating around here.
That was very much that Martha Stewart meme. If you can't get the fires of hell,
Store bought is fine. Yeah. So if you watch the film, there's a scene where a doctor is explaining to a child for some reason that it's called
Agua de limbo.
Agua de limbo.
Limbo water.
Limbo water, which has a fetus in it who has what is called the devil's backbone. It's like an undeveloped spine. It's gross.
It's apparently got like a medical name. When I was looking it up, it's called spina bifida, or split spine in English.
For some reason, they mix it with rum and spices, and then they drink the fermented fluid from it to help with impotence. Again, why would you tell this to a child?
Well, they sell it to the local town.
And they sell it to the local town. So we got some problems in this town.
You gotta get that money. You gotta get those gold ingots.
Yeah, so this one is rum. And we made like a simple syrup that had cloves and cinnamon, allspice, pumpkin spice. Shake them together, and we put a Twizzler in there for the spine.
This is my new favorite drink. You had me at pumpkin. You had me at pumpkin. This is my new autumn drink. This is what I'll be drinking in my travel mug. I will not be answering questions.
Oh, it definitely tastes like fall. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fall drink for sure.
In.
Cool. So, A Girl Walks Alone at Night. This is another one that we watched together. If you've seen the film, it is black and white, pretty much the entire film. So we thought we'd layer that is Kahlua at the bottom, and that is a creme.
It's I had never heard of it, but it's called Velvet Cream. And so I found it yesterday because we couldn't find what was it the one?
Godiva white chocolate. So either would work. And then we drip some grenadine in there, which is red for the blood. All of these will be on our TikTok if you want to watch the actual videos of how they're made. So keep an eye out for that one. And what are we calling this one?
We're calling this one the Pierce Night.
The Pierce Night. Yeah.
Yeah, this one was a struggle. We couldn't figure out how to get the layering. So
it looked nice.
We made like 40 versions of it.
It's like pancakes, but you get to drink them, and it's more fun.
Yeah, you gotta toss out the bad ones.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell from the picture, but it's slightly red at the bottom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks adorable. I want all of these. I think Halloween this year is just me taking shots on the live stream.
Yes.
We should have just shipped all these shots to them.
It's not too
real.
late.
Next Thirsty Thursday, we'll send them over.
Boom.
So, Tigers Are Not Afraid. I think someone earlier asked what was a film that changed your interpretation of horror. We didn't get to it. Sorry. This might be one of them. Listen, guys, I watched this movie and I told Eric, it almost feels disrespectful to make a drink for this movie. I want to pour straight liquor and cry. And that's going to be my cocktail. But I went with the kind of like obvious tiger coloring for this one. We've got grenadine at the bottom for the red. The like orangey is mango and mezcal. Mezcal has like a smoky taste to it for your sadness. I don't know, make it spicy. And then on top we have black vodka layered on top. And I'm going to call this one My Feelings Are Afraid because that film broke my heart.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So Eve's Bayou I'd never heard of, and when I looked it up, I thought I was wondering how it fell into the genre because it's listed as a drama. But as I continued to watch it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely a horror. If you haven't watched it, it's about an affair without getting too much into the details. There's a child who walks in on this affair, and long story short, a couple of things happen that makes the child, one of the people involved in this affair, dead. And so there's a lot of snake involvement. There's like a lot of symbology with the snake, excuse me, throughout the film. And I even think it's funny when I was watching it that Eve and the snake has a pretty good relationship, and has like implications to the Bible and stuff like that. And so what I created was snakes and affairs. You can see a tie there. It's to imply that someone got naked. But this one has 2 ounces of bourbon, lime, hibiscus syrup. You just shake it all together and then put it in there. And then I made the little snake garnish with lemon peels. Oh. So the snakes are prominent in this film. And one of the characters goes to a witch, and the witch she tells this little girl that she fed this person's hair to a snake, put it into a coffin, and then buried it near their home. So that's the inspiration for this one.
This one was pretty good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
If you like bourbon, it's for you.
Thank you. I can't wait to drink all these and watch these movies again.
Oh, let us know what you think. Yeah, so this one, His House, this one was intense. I even told Vivi that it kind of reminded me of what Get Out and Us could have potentially been inspired by, because a lot of similar effects and moments of horror can be seen across the two movies. So another movie of kind of a couple, a family that moves because of things going on in their home, which is South Sudan. And they're trying to kind of assimilate to this new life, but their past keeps haunting them because their daughter, I don't want to ruin the twist, but their daughter,
I think you might have said it.
Their daughter died on the way, and so that haunts them. And so there's a lot of the symbology too around his house, because the main character keeps struggling getting control over his life, and it seems like the past is haunting him over and over, and his wife is dealing with these things. And so what I did here was I called this one The False Dream. It's got gin, it's got hibiscus tea, mango chunks, and lime. And the reason I chose this is because, since they're refugees from South Sudan, kirkede is a common drink in South Sudan. It's made using hibiscus saberifa flower, so thus the hibiscus. And what I tried to do with the color of the drink was remake that same hue in the promo art. If you take a look, there's a scene in the movie that's kind of like a dream sequence that it's him thinking that things are fine, or trying to make it like things are fine, but it's like the piece of the kitchen he's eating. It's a piece of the kitchen over water, and the background has this dark orange red hue. So that's what put this drink together.
Yeah, this one is pretty tasty. It was a frozen drink, so
it looks.
Yeah, I liked it. I could use one right now.
Sometime, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting very thirsty this Thursday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is that it for our assignment?
That's it.
Yes, that was great. I want to make all of them. But my favorite is probably Tragedy Girls. His House is a close second for me.
I will drink them all and get back to you on my favorite, because I am a scientist.
I need to get all the data first.
Listen.
All right. Our next segment, we're going to play a quick game of Never Have I Ever. Did we decide how we're going to do this?
Let's do Never Have I Ever Watched because we're getting close to time.
And are we doing the fingers? Or are we just going to go around and?
Let's do fingers, and we'll see who's still standing in like 3-4
I'm gonna
minutes.
die in the first 5.
All right,
Yeah,
you go first. What have you never watched?
Oh, okay. Never have I ever watched a Del Toro film. It's an easy one.
I'm also gonna drink.
Wait, is it supposed to be what you have watched or haven't watched? Because you have, right?
I have. I was
So you also drink and put a finger down.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So made yourself drink.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's no losing here.
Never have I ever watched a Filipino horror.
Rude.
I don't think I have.
We did. You just
Okay.
said.
I can't remember
I
things.
think we have.
That was a show.
Oh,
Okay,
that's a
horror
show.
movie. Let's say
Oh.
horror movie. Because the show Trece is a Filipino.
Never
Yeah,
have I
I
ever
don't-
watched The Exorcist.
I see that. Guys.
They're just looking at our episode list.
I know they are.
Never have I ever, and I'm looking at these fingers. Never have I ever watched The Human Centipede,
Oh, I actually haven't.
I have.
Oh,
and I will never watch The Human Centipede.
no. That just sounds like a good time.
All right, we're back to Vivi.
Oh crap! You have one go. I need to think of one.
Well, I have watched it, so no.
Okay. Never have I ever seen all of the Saw franchise. I have
There's
not.
too many. I want to do it while they're HBO Max. It's not too late, but I haven't.
Yeah, they were all on there. I just was forced to watch the first one. Is it your turn? I don't know who we're at.
I think it's Eric's turn.
What was it? Never have I ever seen. Wow, this is so hard. Oh man. Anything past the third Friday the 13th.
I'm out.
Awesome. Never have I ever watched the American version of The Ring.
I'm gonna put a finger down. Do I still get the same things even though I'm out? What have I never watched?
Wind out, pinky out.
Oh.
So hard to think of.
I know, right? Oh, okay. I've never seen this. We'll see. Never have I ever watched Hostel.
I have not seen it.
Torture porn is not my thing.
I watched
It's
5
not my
minutes of
thing
it,
either.
but I want to drink.
I'm just gonna drink anyways.
All right, we're back to Vivi.
Okay. Gosh. Okay. Never have I ever seen crap.
Crap.
Never have I ever seen crap.
Process of that.
I have not.
Okay. Oh. God, I want to ask something. Okay, never have I ever seen Critters. I think I took myself out on this one, but
I was about to say, yeah, you have.
Yeah.
We watched it together.
yeah, got you. I was trying to get
That's
you
the
there.
sacrifice.
Sacrifice myself for that.
Have you
Yeah,
seen
we
it,
have to
Eric?
look at posts when- No, yeah, I have seen it. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm a winner. I finally won something in this life. Oh my God. Thank you. I'm very honored. I'm gonna drink
You
now.
need the crown and the
That was
sash.
Mm.
Yeah, Carrie style.
No, we gotta get us some gifts so I can have something. System's rigged.
The shop will be there in a week.
Yes.
Careful, I did text Amanda to have a bucket of blood ready for you.
I was wondering what she was doing over here in the corner. Look.
The infamous killer bucket.
Oh yeah.
The bucket's heavy now.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's all we have for this month's Thirsty Thursday. Thank you guys, Vivi and Eric, for coming out and joining us this Thursday. You guys are awesome.
Glass.
Make sure that you check out their podcast #1 and then check out their TikTok so you can see how they made all those gorgeous drinks that they just talked about. And
Yes.
I cannot wait. I'm going to follow you guys on TikTok tonight. Even though I don't ever post on TikTok, I just follow people and be like the creep in the corner. It's like, hey, watching on
Hours on
Same.
TikTok.
So make sure, you give them a follow, subscribe to their podcast, rate, review them as well. They're awesome. So with what Sharai and I got going on, we still have a few more summer shows coming up. So keep your eyes out for that. We're also going live at least 2 more times that we know about. We love y'all. We love to go live.
Listen, when you pay for StreamYard, you use StreamYard. Our first one that we have coming up after this is our 1-year anniversary, which is next week on the 3rd, which is Tuesday. Thank you. It's hard podcasting, y'all. So we're going to drink about it.
Yeah.
So join us live August 3rd for a toast to Fear Street. We'll be getting into Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, which is a very popular one. And we might also have some surprises or some memories. I don't know. We're still figuring it out. We're drunk.
Right. Who knows what we'll do?
Yeah.
What franchise is like, 1's my favorite, 2, 5. Like, who likes the 5th movie in a franchise? Like, I don't know.
I have to stop myself from asking who hurt you every time somebody does that. So it's like the first one is right there. The first one is right there.
Right. I haven't watched this in forever.
I didn't even know what was the first one.
Right.
I just went straight to 5.
Listen, it said Dream Child. I thought Destiny's Child, and so that's where I started my journey.
Oh, there is a movie that happened like that to me. Was it the House of a Thousand Corpses? I had seen Devil's Rejects and didn't know that House of a Thousand Corpses was before that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm excited. I haven't watched that in forever. So maybe, hey, Sharai, we may be shocked. We may come on here on Wednesday and be like, y'all, we're sorry that we said on Thursday. This is the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
That would be my luck to be like, I'm sorry, I misspoke because I have a bad memory. I drink too much. You're welcome.
We're also, so I don't know if everyone is aware or not, there's a special holiday coming up next month. We're also doing Friday the 13th with our friends from A Nightmare on 5th Street because, life is more fun with neighbors.
Listen, and it's the only Friday 13th of the whole year.
What?
Do you know how shitty that is to have a podcast when there's 1 year? Well, there's one Friday 13th in the whole year. What?
Well, they're like 3 last
We
year.
get married the next day.
Yeah.
It's like 19 every other year. And I'm just like, it's only 12 months. It's math isn't math. People are like, shut up. This year, it's like 1. It's August. And you got to fight everybody else for it.
So yeah, we'll be going live to talk about the original Friday, which we've kind of already talked about tonight with our glorious Mrs. Voorhees. Spoiler alert for that movie from the 70s. So we'll be going live. Check us out for that as always. We're Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys again. Thank you to Vivi and Eric. Thank you to everyone watching at home. We've had a blast. And as always, make sure that you stay fierce out there.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.